Hello, today we're going to be doing a repair on iPhone 7 Plus. It's going to be a screen replacement. First thing we'll do is power the phone off. And then we're going to remove the two pentalobe screws at the bottom here. The screen is held down by adhesive all around. So what we'll do is we will insert a thin opening tool on the bottom left hand side, right above where the microphone is, right down here. And we'll just slide it in between the frame and the LCD. Once we've created an opening, we can go ahead and insert a guitar pick in. And the phone came back on, but I'll go ahead and disconnect the battery to power it off. All right, now that we got the guitar pick on, we can go ahead and slide it along the edges to cut the adhesive and also to pop it up from the clips holding on the side. And we'll make sure we get the bottom and the other side as well. Once we've loosened the adhesive on the other side, we'll go ahead and lift the screen up to about a 15-degree angle, because we still need to remove the adhesive at the top of the screen also. And once we got the adhesive cut loose, we will fold the phone open like a book, going from left to right. And we'll open it up no more than 90-degree angle, being careful not to rip any of the flex connectors. Alright. And we're going to remove this shield that covers the battery and screen flex cables. This one right here. And it is held down by 4 Y000 screws. Be careful with this cable here not to tear it as you're doing it. That is for the front facing camera and proximity sensor. Right. These screws are different sizes, so just keep them in order. You want to be sure that you keep all the screws in order, just to be safe and make sure you put everything back properly in the correct order. And once we remove the shield, we'll go ahead and disconnect the battery first. Then we'll disconnect the LCD and home cable. Now we will move up to the top. Is still a Y000. We're going to remove the plate that is covering the front facing camera and proximity sensor and ambient light sensor and ear speaker. All those are all one piece. Right, and we'll just remove the shield out the way, and we'll get our spudger to pry the flex cable off the motherboard. Alright, and once we have it disconnected, we'll go ahead and lift the screen off and put the phone to the side. And we can go ahead and start by taking off the ear speaker, front facing camera, proximity sensor, and ambient light sensor assembly. There's 5 screws. They're all PH000 Phillips head screws. They are different sizes, so be sure to keep them in order. And once we get all the screws off, we will go ahead and remove the mounting bracket, put it to the side, and then we will fold the front facing camera from right to left, exposing the ear speaker, and then we'll just remove the ear speaker. And then we'll start to go ahead and remove the front facing camera, proximity sensor, and ambient light sensor assembly here. You want to go start from the top. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and take out the ambient light sensor and the front proximity sensor from left to right. Be careful when you're taking out the proximity sensor, there is adhesive holding it down. You can use heat if you have to make it easier, but you want to be careful not to pull on it too hard because the proximity sensor being held on with adhesive will sometimes stay in the mount and rip off of the flex cable. If so, you'll need to replace it. Once we have it peeled back there, we can go ahead and remove the connector for the ear speaker where these copper pads are. Just get right underneath it. There is adhesive holding it down. You can use heat if you need to soften it so it'll come up easier. You start over here on the right hand side where the nub goes into the hole. Once you have it up, you can just grab from there and just gently pull and slowly go from right to left. You can use heat if you need to remove the front facing microphone from the adhesive. Once you have it up, you just keep peeling it back and pulling the whole flex cable assembly off. There's some solder joints here that if you tear the if you tear it, it won't work because that's where it's soldered onto the connector. And there is adhesive that sticks onto the screen usually. You can just peel it off and put it right back on to cover it up. Once you have it covered back up, you just set it aside, and we'll continue on to remove the heat shield from the LCD and the home button. There's 5Y000 screws on the frame. We'll just unscrew those and put them all together. They are all the same size. Okay, there's 3 on that side, and on the other side is the other 2. Once we have those, we can remove the home button bracket. There's four screws down here. They're all the same size, so you don't have to put them in any specific order. And once you have the last screw off, you can go ahead and take the bracket off, and then we'll disconnect the home button from left to right. The flex cable here. Let's go from left to right. Once we have that up, we'll go ahead and fold up the bottom connector there for the home cable. And then we can go ahead and pull the home button out. It is held by adhesive. Use heat to soften it up or just gently pull up, carefully not ripping the home button. If you do rip this cable, then the home button will not work and you can't get a replacement for it. You'd have to go to Apple to replace the home button. Once you get the heat off, or once you get the sticker off, you just push the home button out and just slide it right out. And then we just have one last screw holding the heat shield to the frame. It's a Phillips head PH000. Now you can lift the heat shield up. There's adhesive holding it down to where it covers for the different IC chips. Once you pull that up, you can slide it right out. We'll just grab our new screen and reassemble everything in the reverse and put everything back together. Fold the cables down. I'm going to slide the flex cable back inside. Just peel the adhesive right here back so it doesn't stick to it. And once you have the flex cable in, you can go ahead and use the little sticker that was holding the IC covers as a guide to make sure that it's straight. The little cover for the IC chips right here, that does have to be in the correct place. Otherwise, when you go to close the phone, it'll be in the way of the other components that are inside the phone, and it'll cause a pressure spot on the screen. So you just want to be sure you use the adhesive and the little little guide there to have it set in the proper place. And we'll go ahead and screw the bottom one in first so that way our frame stays in place, and then we'll stick the home button back in. I just want to make sure the home button is in there properly in the center. And we'll just fold the home button cable up so that way it's sitting on top of the home button, just like that. And now we can go ahead and connect it back together. All right. Once you have it connected, put the bracket back on, and then we'll screw the 4 screws back on the bottom there. All right. And you want to be sure that when you're screwing this in that you don't go too tight, or else the home button itself won't sit properly. Either pop up a little bit, or one side will be a little off. So we just want to be sure that it's not too tight, but it's also not too loose. And we'll just go ahead and put on the screws on the frame on the side as well. 3 on the right side, 2 on the left side. Next thing we'll do is go ahead and put on the front-facing camera, proximity sensor, ambient light sensor, front microphone assembly back on. Again, the ear speaker copper connectors here on the flex cable goes on the bottom. There are two little holes. Just want to line them up into the nub that's on the front-facing screen there. And you just want to just press it down. There should be adhesive still on the back of it, so that way it sticks on. And then we will go ahead and put the proximity sensor back in. And once we have that in, we'll put the ambient light sensor in also. All right. Once we have that in there, we can go ahead and put the ear speaker back in, and then we can fold the front-facing camera over it and put it into the mounting bracket. And then we'll just put the back bracket back on, and then put the 5 screws back in to hold it in place. And remember, all these screws are a different size, so you want to put them all back in the order that you took them off, so that way you're not screwing into the actual screen itself. Alright, and once we put in our last screw here, we can go ahead and grab our phone and connect everything back. First thing you want to connect is the front-facing camera, proximity sensor, ambient light sensor, earpiece assembly flex connector here, because it is a little bit harder to put on if you don't put it on first. So go ahead and put that on. And once we have that on, we can go ahead and push it into place so it snaps in. And then go ahead and connect the home button cable first, and then we'll do the LCD digitizer cable next. And once we get that connected, we'll go ahead and connect the battery so we can power it on. All right, so it looks like we have power now. So hope you have enjoyed this video and found it informative. Maybe you want to try to repair yourself, or if not, you can send it in to us. We do offer mail-in repairs. Our website, email information will be available at the end of the video, or in the description section. And you want to just go ahead and put everything back together at this point, close the phone up, and everything will be good to go. Thank you again for watching the video, and be sure to subscribe to get more videos in the future.